Good morning, traders. It looked like pre-market prep went a little bit in overtime, so we're going to get right to the action. Let's get it started. Live trading with Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. I mean, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, team. Let's go ahead. Let's bring on the boys. The boys are back in town, and the hoodie trader is back in his chair and doing what he does best. Get into the action.
Good morning.
Always
What is
do.
up, fellas?
Good morning. Good morning. We did get a bunch of numbers coming in, but it didn't really do much to the markets. It looks like we just kind of staying in line. And I'll tell you, it's not just a little bit. Zunaid probably doesn't even know, but I'll tell you, it's like 20 numbers are coming in today, team. So just be careful. Economic data coming in all day long, Fed speak all day long. So we could see changes in the markets, right?
You see
just
that,
want to
chat?
put that on your radar.
I just caught a stray. I just caught a stray from Mitch. What'd I do? I just woke up. It's messed up. It's messed up, Mitch.
I just know you're not a big economic data type of guy.
You know, I did a webinar yesterday with the wonderful affiliate, and we're talking, and someone in the chat or someone in the group was like, yeah, like, hey, man, do you look at like macro stuff? And I was like, Mitch can answer that for you. The answer is no.
But I actually like that you like stick to it, right? Because at the end of the day, it just shows you, right? Different approaches in the market, right?
Yeah.
There's some people that are going to care about all the macro stuff. And there's some people that are going to say, get that the hell out of here. We don't need that, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. And I think that the important part there is knowing that there's different ways of trading. It's all about your time frame also, right? If you know your time frame, then that's going to make a big difference in understanding, should this matter to me or should it not matter to me? Let's get into the action. Let's talk about stocks out there. Of course, we'll start with the overall market. Who wants to take it? Ryan's been doing this pretty well. So actually, I think I'm going to kick it to Ryan.
It's all you. It's all you, bud.
All right. Was ready for the smaller caps, but let's talk about the regular market. As Mitch said, we did get the PPI numbers already. Now, remember, PPI is more of a backward-looking number than anything else. So to Mitch's point, the market not really doing that. We are a little bit higher off that number, but it's nothing crazy yet. When we're taking a look at the SPY, this is really how I'm trying to keep things in context. A lot going on here, so I'll try and break it down for you folks. This channel, this light blue channel, this has been the bear channel that we've been in since the beginning of the year in 2022. And right now we are on the verge of actually breaking out of this channel and kind of invalidating all of this. Now, we did close above this channel yesterday, but barely. So what I would really like to do to determine whether or not this support or resistance level is changed is have 3 closes above this, right? So we got one yesterday. If we get another one today and another one tomorrow, I think we can throw out the bear channel, at least for the time being. I won't delete it off my chart. If anything, I would just simply hide it. But looking at the SPY here, it certainly, in my gut would be that we actually kind of roll over here. As Mitch said, we do have a lot of economic numbers here today. We've got a whole bunch of Fed members speaking. Let's see what that actually does to the market. If we take a look at some actual levels here, next level down, first of all, we're right above the 200-day. 200-day is at 396 and change. So we're right above that. That would be the first spot. The 395 level that we have outlined here, this has actually been some pretty good support before. I would imagine we'd find support there. And then the next here would be the 50-day moving average at 391. This yellow line here, this has been a really, really important level. We call it 384. The actual number is 383.98, but we can just call it 384 for the sake of ease. This would really kind of be a bigger support. Now, we'll see if we end up trading down here. I feel like we're going to need some more headwinds to actually land in order to make this move down. So we'll see what happens today. The one thing that's really kind of got me on the fence here is the volumes, right? The volume in the market here has been absolutely pathetic. And I think, especially on this run up. So I think that what's happening here is you just don't have a lot of participants. I think this last run up was mostly retail, which means if this rolls over and goes against them, you could see this move quite quickly. Just my 2 cents here. I could very easily be wrong. As mentioned, my bias is right now still to the downside. I still think we're going to go down and test some of these lows here before figuring out where the actual bottom is. So, Zunaid, do you have any thoughts on the broader market at all, or where we're going, or what you're looking at, or anything like that?
Only thing for me is 400, man. That's the only thing I'm focused in on is the 400 level on SPY. Yesterday, we tried to test it. Couldn't quite stay above it. We poked above it just a little bit by about a quarter of a point. So just 25 cents. And then today in pre-market, we tried to go above it. Could not. Got smacked down. So 400 is the only level I'm keeping an eye on.
Okay. If I flip over to the Qs here real quick, you see we have kind of a similar story. I don't necessarily have the channel drawn here, but I did just put a trend line on here that goes all the way back to the beginning of last year. In fact, we can probably extend that a little bit more. This goes all the way back to the beginning of last year. You can see that the Qs on this same run up here, the Qs are moving up towards that trend line as well. Now, we're a little bit lower here on the Qs. Remember, on the SPY, we've actually gone over the top of the channel, but on the Qs here, we're actually still below the trend line. So we'll see where this goes. I know we had technology is a favorite here. We've got Tesla up today. We have Apple up today. We have Amazon up today. Bitcoin's still moving. So a lot of different tech things are moving here, and we're coming to a pretty important point here on the Qs. One of the other things that I found interesting, I don't necessarily know that we can make a trading decision off of this information, but one of the other things that I found interesting was that yesterday, I was seeing on CNBC that the two highest or the two largest ETFs by volume, by trading volume, are SQQQ and TQQQ. So it seems to me that especially right now, whether you are institutional or retail, the big trading or the most voluminous trading is happening in those levered ETF products, which means that the Qs are the, being watched in order to make decisions off of that. So thought that was pretty interesting. I know a lot of us here often trade some of these ETFs. And looks like we're not alone, right? Those are the largest ETFs by volume. So interesting macro case. Let's see what happens when we get more of the numbers here today, and when we get some talk out of the Fed. Now, Zunaid, do you have anything else to add here, or can I run through my movers list?
Please go ahead. It's all you, pal.
So let's flip over to the movers list here. And see what we actually have moving around here. First one on the list here is going to be OnTrack. OnTrack shares are trading higher after the company announced new data that shows a reduction in depression and anxiety symptoms for OnTrack Health Wholesale Plus program members. That sounds pretty good. Not really sure. Don't really have like an angle or anything on this company. But looking at it here, this is a penny stock that popped all the way up to 120. And now we're kind of retracing some of that move. Let's see if we hold one. To me, if we're able to hold one here, pretty good. Maybe we can actually curl. Maybe we can actually stay above the VWAP and make another move towards the highs. We'll see as this plays out. Next here is going to be TC Biopharm Holdings. This is TCBP, and this fits our theme, if you will, of select biotech and therapeutic companies putting in large moves. Here we are in the pre-market. We're up just about 35%. You can see we've actually blown through the 650 resistance pre-market high that we had, and we took the next leg up. Now we're consolidating up here. So this is actually a really good sign. If we are able to hold above this and consolidate, then we actually set ourselves up for the next potential move up. But let's see what happens when the market opens, when we actually get some more volume in here. We're a little bit extended from the VWAP. I'd actually like to see that come in towards the VWAP. We'll see if we end up getting that. Next here is going to be ATXI. This is Avenue Therapeutics. We had a move here yesterday. I had a great trading opportunities on this yesterday. The best one actually came in the afternoon. Let me go ahead and mark this off on the chart here. It was this high of daybreak on this gigantic volume. We actually got another biggest volume stick of the day shortly afterwards. So best trade on ATXI here was yesterday. I know I'm pretty sure some of you hit this in the morning right out of the gate. Congrats. Awesome job. I just think that the setup here was a little bit better, a little bit higher quality in the afternoon. Regardless, both trades worked, and here we are, stocks gapping up again today. So what we want to know today, big key here, especially for long side traders, is going to be, do we hold this? Do we actually break back down? Do we come back into the range from yesterday? Let me go ahead and mute my Slack real quick. Pause notifications. All right. So we'll want to see if we can actually kind of curl back up. It looks like we've retraced some of this move. VWAP at 245 thereabouts. So we're a little bit under the VWAP. I think as long as we hold this 217 area, we should be in good shape. We'll see when the market actually opens here. Volume a little dead here in the pre-market. So we really want to see some of this volume expand like we saw yesterday, right at the open. Next here, I actually saw it on my list before. I want to make sure I cover it. BBBY, right? So this is same story as the couple last couple of days. Definitely feels short squeezy here. You can see yesterday what we did is we right out of the open, we had our biggest move right out of the open, and we came back and bounced off this 386 line a couple of times. Really didn't take the next leg up until today. We cracked above that 450 area. If you recall correctly, if we go to the daily chart here, 450 is going to be this right in here. So this area that has actually been previous support for this stock, we're pushing right up to there again. If we take a look, if we zoom in on the daily, we actually have one of those formations that we really like, right? The stock found a bottom, really kind of pushed off the bottom and set a high, retrace some of that move. This looks like about 50% of that move, and now we're curling back towards that high. So not a guarantee that we're going to get there. Let's see what happens around 450. If we're able to hold that and take the next leg up, maybe we're on track to the move towards a 578 test, maybe even a break, and we can test that 6 level at Bed Bath & Beyond. So again, just remember, this does definitely feel short squeezy, so don't be afraid to take your gains, right? This is not a stock that's likely to go from $4 to $100 and have a huge wealth move. We're just trying to trade it and capture some of those gains. CYAD is going to be the next one on the list here. I'm going to call this one, I'm going to refer to this today as the Crow Special. Yesterday, we took a look at this. We had a huge move up off the opening pre-market candle. We retraced nearly all of the move. All right, it's about a 98, 99% retracement. Found some support at the bottom there. Huge volume started to pour in, and we had a really, really nice move here. We moved from, 113 all the way up to about 250, 121% in the matter of just a couple of minutes. Our chat was all over this. Crow, another shout out to you. You were all over this. I had said earlier, when I see a lot of these huge retracements, so a big move and then a large retracement, retracing almost the entire move, generally speaking, that's a red flag. But this goes to show you, even if you get something like that, the market can do whatever. And we ended up getting a nice trading opportunity there on CYAD. Now, today, we're still up, right? We did pop out of the gate here a little bit and came back in, but we're still kind of holding. Oh, my gosh, I ran out of time. Zunaid, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right, brother.
Why don't you go over some stocks that we're actually looking for? I totally lost track of time.
No. You're totally cool. Honestly, the only thing I'm literally looking at is 400 on SPY. That's the only thing I'm locked in on. Currently trading at 399. I've got sell orders ready to go at 399.92 and 399.98 with the stop loss above 450. So going to give it about 50, 60 cents. In terms of where do I want to go short on the downside, it's going to be the break of 397 on the SPY. So honestly, this is all I'm locked in and loaded on. That's all. No worries at all. Yeah, I don't really necessarily see anything else. If somehow, some way Amazon gets to 100, it's got to break over this 99 first. But if it does get to, I'm going to set an alert here. That way I can set. If Amazon gets past 99, I would sell orders at around 100 to go short, just to scalp maybe 30, 40, 50 cents on that puppy. But for now, though, locked and loaded to go short on SPY. CrowdStrike yesterday. This is one that I got a chance to play yesterday with the webinar folks. And it was a beautiful break of 100, and it kind of went ahead. Here, I can show it on the 1 minute. Where'd it go? Yeah, on the 100, it kind of went ahead and bought us. We went ahead and sold for about 70-cent gains, and then it finally dipped below, but thankfully we're already sold out. That once it reclaimed 100, you can see it based for a few minutes and then continued its way higher. So keep an eye on that in case it can break 108.06, or if it wants to come back and test 100. But again, SPY about 60 cents away. Microsoft, I believe, had some layoffs.
BBBY going towards that pre-market high of 458. We'll see if it can actually pop above. And big pull right here. As soon as I said that, it pulled back. Awesome. I think right now it actually needs to hold this 4-4 hand. Just as I'm saying that, huge breakdown on BBBY. Tell you all the time to be careful. In this case, huge breakdown happening right as we're taking a look at it. I'm actually going to move on temporarily and look for something else at the moment. We'll wait for that to settle. Let's check in on CYAD.
I'll put you up if you'd like. There you go.
TCDA popping a little bit here. That's just a penny stock. Let's take a look at CYAD. Real quick, wanted to highlight a couple of things. First of all, good morning, Judge. Nice to see you there. Sounding a lot better this morning. I think that you're referring to me. That's good. I do feel better today as well. I was really under the weather yesterday. There was another comment in here. I can't find it. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, right here. Oliver saying, don't underestimate BBBY. I concur with this. I don't like the company. I don't really think it's a safe buy, but important not to underestimate it. It was not the onion water being BZB trading. I did have a nice little laugh about that in the evening, though. I did not try your onion water remedy. I also got a garlic water remedy, which was interesting. So.
Someone in the chat had asked about UAL, so I'll just kind of quickly go over it. 51 is an area where you can kind of keep an eye on, where you saw resistance popped up, kind of acted as support, but not for too long, as it just actually no, yeah, it came back, tested it, and then went to the upside in the after hours after they reported. So 51 is an area to keep an eye on, and of course, if we don't hold 51, definitely 50. I mean, look at that beautiful hold on $50 yesterday, right there.
Yeah, I think the big thing here for UAL, Zunaid, is going to be the forecast. They issued strong guidance going forward here. Conference calls starts today at 10:30, so we're about an hour away from the conference call. Quick little note here on UAL. Actually, two people from the happy hour show that we do every single day are former UAL employees. They've been telling multiple stories about how they were being forced out near the end of their career. So a lot of that. The employee turnover is going to actually be reflected in this print. So good to see the strong guidance here on UAL. However, airlines remain the same, right? The airline trade is difficult. It's hard business, and the trade always seems to have pitfalls in it.
It's been a good one. I'm still pissed off about my American airline decline. They dumped it right before they brought it up. That's the problem. That's the bigger boys playing with us. Got to be willing to take some of that volatility. That's what I feel happened. Bigger traders are making money on these airlines.
Chuck, interesting. Chuck giving you a trading idea here. UAL is a good short at 53.16 or the 200-week moving average. So, Chuck, really appreciate comments like this, giving us a reason, an actionable target to take a look at on the chart. Basically, Chuck's saying is as this pushes into its 200-week moving average, he's going to look to go short and try and profit off that retrace. TCBP is halted at 744. So huge break out of the formation we just talked about. We were looking at other stocks here. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. We had talked about TCBP really breaking these highs earlier when we first took a look at it to take the next leg up. We consolidated. The big volume poured in, cracked right through 689, halted here at 744. We'll see where this opens when it actually we'll see what price this opens at when the halt is done or when the stock resumes. I would say if you have some here, get ready to lighten some of that and book some of those gains. Is there another ticker, Crow? TCPH?
All right.
No, I think that was just a transpose.
like in Cleveland Cliff team, trying to grab a little bit here and trying to add some on the pullback. Let you guys
Mitch,
know.
can you share your screen?
Yeah, just
You
give me
share-
1 second there.
Yep.
Yeah, a little late. So I'm focusing on the trading windows instead of the actual
It's
one
okay.
I'm sharing.
It's okay. I didn't.
I got
mean
you
to
guys.
be-
No, you're good. I mean, you're very important thing to share the screen, right? So Cleveland Cliff did put out yesterday, nice kind of positive outlook. It already started pushing here in the pre-market, trying to get it to push back there to the 2150s, willing to add on this name. I want to kind of swing this, but it's going to be all dependent if it's going to be able to hold 21s on the pullback today. Don't want it to break 21s on pullbacks. How's our SPY looking?
Man,
Down.
400,
First move
bro.
down.
Just not happening. Yeah.
Straight move down?
Well, the first move here is down. It's not a gigantic move or outsized by any means, but we were, kind of drifting up at the end of the pre-market. We've retraced almost that entire move now. Actually, we have retraced that entire move. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm just in watch mode, not really looking to trade anything just yet. You got anything you're looking for, Mitch?
Aluminum, really nice move out the gates. AA. That's a nice little push up there to 5760s. I know it gave earnings this morning. I wasn't able to even catch these because it came out a little later. Got to take a look at it now to see how the earnings were, but it was a nice little pop here. Went to 5760s, coming back to the VWAP here, looking for the kind of the VWAP bounce right back to the upside there. We'll see if it gets that nice little bounce right back through 5760. Let me see those earnings.
Tesla, by the way, first move here down out of the gate. So we had another strong gap up and pre-market session for Tesla. The open here has just met Tesla with a bunch of sellers.
Alcoa's after. That's why I didn't grab them this morning. I know there was something on Alcoa that I needed to pay attention to. It's earnings after the bell today for Alcoa.
ORTK that we looked about, this actually does look like it's gearing here. Maybe a pop above 110 might send it. We have 118 as your high. So this is what I'd be looking at here. I'm actually going to focus on this one right now. Aha, Crow, good eye. Crow looking at the same thing. OTRK. OTRK above 110 might be able to take a stab at it. We want to confirm that with some bigger volume here. Decent bid at 105.
Nice little bounce there in SQQQs. Energy up also. Halliburton, nice little pullback here to the VWAP. Doesn't look too bad. XOM, nice little move back up there. So you can look for Oxy's probably really strong. Nice relative strength there in the oil names.
Still watching 107 here on OTRK. A little bit of size there. We'll see if they take it. Spot here to break is going to be 109. That's going to be the high that I have. 110 looks like the spot on the chart, so we'll keep an eye on this. Here we go. There's 110. Big seller there. They're taking it. This is going to go here. There it goes through 110, 114 now. Nice stuff here. Great call, Crow. Okay, stop now is going to be at 107, right? So if this goes back against us, we're not gonna lose just a little bit, but really going to try to stay as green as possible in this trade. We'll see if we end up pushing out here. Really needs to take out 113 again, 114 your day high on OTRK. Let's see if we hooked one here.
OTRK.
Yep, there's that bidder at 208. Bid moved up here to 208. 108, excuse me. Bid moved up here to 109.
I'm going to go and try to take some at 101 if I can get it. 700 shares with a stop loss.
There you go.
Of about 90. We'll call it 89.
Brought in more of a bid here at 109. I see some really great comments in the chat that I want to handle or that I want to cover here. But mid-trade here on OTRK, we want this to keep going here. See if they break this down. Let's see if they break this 114 down. I think for a scalp, this is probably it on your exit. Let's see if we can get one more push here. 113 has been refilled twice now. So a nice refresh seller there at 113.
XOM pushing higher here. Oxy was one of the strong ones. Chevron was strong yesterday. Nice little VWAP bounce on Chevron. If you guys looking, oil having a nice little move. Technology still in the green, and basic materials having a decent day. Aluminum leading, lumber, silver, copper. Agricultural inputs having a good day. MOS, second good day. Take a look at that one. Yesterday's high of 48.46. It seems like it's in reach. We'll see if we get to that level. It's at 48.21. Nice little up move there, MOS.
All right, so we had a nice little pullback here on OTRK. What we really need is on this push back up, really need this to take the next level up. I think if it doesn't, you can cut and wait for a setup again. See if it comes back in.
Whew, that MOS really strong.
Come on, just do it.
And stepped out. So did not have the strength to really go. We only got a 4-cent pop here. Generally speaking, I'm looking for more than that on a scalp like this. But we're going to keep watching this. This really another move through 110 with some good volume here. 114 would be the spot to take out. So we'll see if I just got stopped out for no reason.
All right, added the Cleveland Cliff on that pullback into the 2115s, looking for 2114s or 13s below it where the wicks are to hold now. It needs to recover VWAP, get back to the high. We'll see if we get back up there. Let you guys know. Triple BY called out from Jay Wild. If we'll see if Triple BY can continue today. Does the dash for trash continue? We'll find out.
On OTRK, oh wow, so they walked the sell. Here it goes. They took out a huge seller there at 111, which has been walked down since 114. We'll see what kind of size is left at 114 when the stock pushes up here. So looks like too tight of a stop here on my own trading plan. Really kind of brought it back. That 110 spot, absolutely key. We'll see if 114 falls. Let me go back and see. There are some comments in here that I really wanted to get to real quick. Got to find them though. Oh, yeah. Tanner absolutely loved this. Absolutely loved this. 5-minute downtrend line set from the pre-market highs in the SPY, holding pretty strong. Might go long if that breaks. Till then, I'm bearish. I think what I like most about this is that you have a plan for both sides. Keep that stuff up. And if you do see something like this, whether it's the SPY or an individual name or whatever the case is, let us know. This is good stuff. This is actionable. Breakdown here on OTRK. So just did not have the strength. Looked pretty good. Did not have the strength. 2-cent loss there. Move on to the next. Still could set up again. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and mark this off on the chart in case we come back to this. 114, pre-market high of 118. That area right there. If that falls, we might be good to go. Stock's a little extended up here, up 80%.
Ooh, SPY with another kind of attempt to go up there, failing multiple times now. This is the 4th time it's failed. I'm going to look to see if we start crashing down through the 398. That's what I'll look for, the leak. If we do get that leak, I'll start looking to short into some of the strong names that have been strong as of late, especially the growth names. Breakout is through the 400 team. And what you want to see majority of the times, it's a close above that, right? A lot of the times we're getting wicks above 399, kind of 70 area. So I would say 60. So look to see anything closing really up there.
TCBP real quick here. This is another one that the chat is all over. I'm not in this. No trade in this. We did have that push into the halt right there at 744. We opened when as high as 837. So remember what I was saying is that when we open, if we go higher, at least take some of your gains off. When as high as 837. Big knife here. We're actually below the halt price here. Would expect this to halt to the downside if it has a quick move here. So TCBP, this trade did end up working if you took it. I did not.
All right, looking for Cliff to really start pushing towards the highs of yesterday. See if we get up there. It's gone to 2150 before. If it can push through here, I feel we can get towards that 2150. We'll see what happens now. Can I get the next step up? I'm looking also at NUE steel play, right? Looking at other steel plays to see if we get that continuation. X looked good also. We'll just look to see if we get that nice little push. Of course, it seems like it's been a decent day for basic materials. That's why I'm also in basic materials. You guys can see it's up here. We'll look to see if the industry overall takes that next step up. And you'd want to see it kind of push here, do a VWAP bounce for the sector itself. Industries look for wood, aluminum, agricultural inputs, really strong to start the day.
And Crow, with your CYAD here, interesting part about CYAD. So first of all, that first move down did find support, 190, decent support there. We actually crossed back through 196, also good. The thing that I'm really going to need to see here on CYAD is the expanding volume. You look at these sticks right here, they look all right, but when you zoom out and compare that to yesterday, they're pathetic. And that huge move that we had yesterday, this was on much higher volume than we're currently seeing now. We want to see this volume expand considerably before taking this here.
All right, guys, just made a slight entry mistake. I would say slight entry mistake, meaning that what it was that I jumped on the ask and the ask jumped up there. So what happened there was as soon as I went to go hit my click, I got one of those kind of where the price quote changes right as you go to hit it. And because I was putting in an ask order, it actually jumped up on the order for the limit there for me. So that's a slight execution mistake there on CF. Want to add to the VWAP. That's where I want to be, 86.45. MOS having a good day today, trying to get into CF. One has a tendency of following it eventually. Leader right now, MOS starting to push there. Going to look to see if CF can start playing a little bit of catch up and push back up.
I'm in an NVIDIA trade that's coming down to the south side here. I went long at about 177.32. Looking to stop out if it goes ahead and breaks below 176.42. Could not get the 400 fill on the SPY to go short. Still hanging on to it on that one. Bed Bath. Oh, I might have to sneeze. Bed Bath & Beyond trying to break above 450. We'll see if that one finds a way to go across and break pre-market highs, which is about 457.
Judge saying, "Wow, this guy Bullard." So real quick, some comments there. St. Louis Fed President Bullard said in December, projection expected end of 2023 rate to be in the 5.25 to 5.5% range. Said inflation will probably recede in 2023, but not as fast as financial markets expect. Bullard says Fed wants to err on the side of Bullard says Fed wants to err on the tighter side to allow disinflationary process to take hold, basically telling you that those rates are going to stay high for longer. Do not expect a pivot and a cut there. St. Louis Fed President Bullard says the prospects for a soft landing in the U.S. have improved markedly.
Let's see what else we got. On Gush, I don't necessarily see anything that I personally like. Let me go back to, all right, maybe we get a retest of 400. So far for the past 15 minutes, we've made higher highs. Let's check out NVIDIA as that one's crawled right back up. And now we're break even. We were in
added on Cleveland Cliff, looking for the breakout now. Also adding on pullbacks for CF.
Put you up, pal.
Wally asking about FFIE. FFIE, this is just another penny stock. Real quick, let me just cover this real quick. I'll give it right back to you, Mitch.
No worries, you're good.
I don't know how much edge I'm gonna be able to give you, right? This stack, look at this chart. I mean, that's no good, right? That's no good. There are a couple of pops. If you're trying to time these pops, use your technicals, use your risk management. This certainly doesn't look great. Looks like it is trying to kind of push back above this 67-cent level. Your guess is as good as mine if this happens. FFIE, the catalyst here doesn't really mean a whole lot. Faraday future shares are trading higher if the company announces a strategic agreement with the city of Huang in the Hubei province, China, signed a new shareholder agreement. I mean, I throw that out. That's really nothing for me. All right, Mitch.
All right, looking at Cleveland Cliff, looking for it to start pushing now. Of course, you guys see where my ads are there. There's some good ads there now. I've been building it up. The risk is right over here now. Don't want to see these. Want to see this kind of double low hold 21.22, 21.22. Let's start seeing it start holding above the VWAP. That's what we really want to see. VWAP right now around 21.28, needs to push towards 21.50. I saw X have a good move there, just to kind of state that. You can see it here on the right-hand side. NUE starting to push there. So seeing the steel have a good move here. We'll see if we get a relative move here. Steel Dynamics also starting to push. Let's see if we get the takeout. That's why I gave that final ad for the big push, was because I saw the industry make the move. We'll see if now Cleveland Cliff can follow. All right, back to CF. Got some ads there, about an average right now, about 86.69. Willing to work more towards 86.50s and 86.40s. The risk on this one could even be down towards 86. So I really want to see this one kind of add towards it. But really, MOS showing me the strength in this industry, and that's why I'm also in this one. IPI is another one you guys can be looking in this kind of industry, and that's agricultural inputs. We'll see what happens, team. Let's keep at it.
On ticker TCBP, got filled at 703 with a stop loss of 678. I'm in for 200 shares. Looking to take gains at around, not going to do 53. I don't like that whole number situation. I'm looking to take gains around 48. So risking 50 bucks, looking to make about 90 bucks. So almost a 2-to-1 trade for me.
And real quick, OTRK. So just regressed, stopped me out, and then blasted through. So Jim here, too early to bail, Ryan. Jim, you hit it right on the head. You're absolutely right. So I think one of the things that we might start to do here is try and maybe loosen these stops up a little bit, maybe reduce position size a little bit in order to compensate for a looser stop, excuse me. What we had here, my stop here was at 107. This went to 104. All right. So if we take a look at that, this retraced about 9% from the high. So maybe the stop on the first push there, if you're going to take it, maybe 10%, maybe that would be the next thing. Maybe kind of loosen that up to about 10%. That had kept me in this trade. The reality is that the plan for this trade still worked, right? We pushed up to this 114 level. That we banged against that door several times, couldn't get the door open. Finally, we said enough with the damn door. I'm breaking it down. And that's exactly what we did. And we actually pushed through the entire 4-cent resistance area that we flagged here, right? This just all the way up to 126 and halted there. So we'll see what happens when we come out of here. When we come out of this halt, we'll keep watching this. OTRK, this worked despite shaking me out.
Some calls out in the chat. Just want to mention, shout out to you, SRT8, crushing Baba puts. Hey, any way you can do it, man. Nice. You notice weak action there, relative weakness. You went after it. Hey, shout out to you. And Timothy mentioning Plug on the move. Plug has been strong as of late. It's continuing to move up. Of course, that one likes to move also with like an FSIL and others. But just keep in mind, these are continuing to run. This is kind of more that growth trade, and we're still seeing it happen today.
Trader Chris for OTRK saying I had VWAP at 104. Absolutely. It actually pulled back to that VWAP here. Really kind of didn't break down through it. And we got that expanding volume that we were looking for. So good lesson here, at least for me. Didn't really cost me a whole lot, but it didn't make anything on it. So I'm going to turn this into a lesson and try to learn from my mistake.
On ticker NVDA, we were profitable all the way up to the about 178.39s. Unfortunately, 50 cents away from take profit. Now this trade is back at break even. So you can see we kind of got filled here, went to a nice little move up, or excuse me, we're filled somewhere here. Almost went ahead and our stop loss came all the way up. And let's see which way it wants to go. Matter of fact, let me see where I did get filled, because that's going to bother me if I'm not accurate about that. Got filled here, and then it came down. And now it's coming to the downside. But let's go ahead and take a look at the other ticker that we're in. Where is it? It's this one. We got filled at about 703. Stop loss again is 678. Currently trading at 702s. And then on, what was it? OTRK? Is that what it is? Yeah, I wanted to get
OTRK. That's on track. Yeah.
Yep, I wanted to get filled at 101. Unfortunately, could not. It went all the way down.
Open went as high as 144. So anyone from the initial trade plan, I'd be at least scaling out here. 140, your spot there. We'll see if that ends up getting broken.
I'm gonna go.
Great stuff here. Great stuff here on OTRK. Well, great stuff by the chat, not necessarily by me.
All right, keeping a close eye on that. Cleveland Cliff might break even on the rest here.
Sam's
it's
good.
I was going to say CYAD did move above its VWAP and it's holding so far. We'll see if this ends up blasting off here and going, but CYAD looking pretty decent here. Really held that 196 level, as you can see here. So went through the VWAP, not in this. We'll see if we can actually push a little bit higher. Next spot here looks to be about 220-ish.
Need a recovery here. We'll see what happens.
Sam's asking, hey, Zunaid, do you see options change for support and resistance on SPY? I'm not quite sure exactly what you're asking, Sam, but the only time I'll use like options is obviously to trade it, but also take a look at where the open interest is. So if there's a strike that has a lot of open interest, I'll try to see that on the chart and see if there's any correlation to it in terms of support, resistance, and things like that. But I'll be honest, I've moved money out of E-Trade, so I haven't really traded options much. I do have some in Thinkorswim that I'll try to play with, but mainly nothing really there for me in terms of options.
Real quick from Crow here saying patience in CYAD. He's looking for it to break 250. Just to give you an idea of what he's probably looking at here. Crow, correct me if I'm wrong. 250. This was yesterday's intraday high. We actually banged on this door twice here in the pre-market today. We don't yet have the strength. So what Crow is hypothesizing here is that it's going to take some time, but this is likely to curl and move back up to and perhaps through that 250 mark there. So this will be something to take a look at here. If you wanted to swing this, I suppose that you could. I would probably make your stop day low, yesterday's intraday low, so 167. Think about that though. That's 40 cents to the downside versus, or 45 cents to the downside versus 42 cents to the upside here, unless you're playing on a breakthrough 250. So might be something to kind of watch here.
SPY trying to make that 400 run. Let's see if we get it, team.
Any inside American Airlines 55 is where, oh, that's not even American Airlines.
So
yeah,
I'm just looking to see if we're going to get
that
run.
I'm talking about myself. No, you're good. I don't necessarily see anything on American Airlines. The crack of 1760 obviously is resistance at the moment based on pre-market and after hours yesterday and also today's trading session. But besides that, I don't really see any trade on that. Apologies.
AAL. I mean, you can do hourly pullbacks. Hourly pullbacks have worked well, at least for the chart, right? Hourly pullbacks. That's what I would say has worked. But you're talking about a stock that's already made a huge run. It could always pull back. I say if you're trading it here, you're kind of renting it versus buying it. So just keep that mentality. What do I mean by renting it? It means that you could only kind of maybe play it in the intraday momentum. You want to be swinging something too much like this because it's already gone too far. The momentum breaks and you're down significantly. So we'll see what happens here. I'm definitely looking for pullbacks in the airlines. I think they're a really good swing trade. Just gonna have to wait. I kind of upset. I went for American Airlines. I thought we would get a lift this year. It just did a downturn right before. And I mean, if we would have got it back at 14 when we cut right back through my entry, yeah, that would have been a good outlook to get that nice little gain. We'll look for pullbacks to 15. That's what I'm looking for eventually, but that could take a while.
What did we say earlier about the airlines, Mitch? The airline trade is tough. It's even if you have a plan, it is a tough trade. So just keep it in mind.
All right. Looks like my trades are starting to do well. I'm trying to almost not even pay attention to them today, but it's kind of hard, right? That's one of the things that I've been trying to work on more is set some stops after the position's already in, know my levels, and just let the trade work. We'll look at CF, Cleveland Cliff work now. I'll let them try to get to 2150. That's where I'll take some profit for Cleveland Cliff. CF, it can start breaking out. This one has a little bit longer trend line that it can keep going towards. 8750 is where I'll look for some profits on that one. At least close to $1 on the CF gains for the first shares. We'll see what happens on Cleveland Cliff when we get to 2150. Let's get out of these. Let's make sure that we're catching this SPY. Are we going to get that run to the 400? We just tapped it 400 on the kisser. So we'll see what happens now. Do we get through it? You can see kind of this pattern here. We started holding the pullbacks. That's a good look out there. Now we got a bunch of volume that came in there. Is that selling that we're getting at 400 or is that buying? In my eyes, that's selling. When you see this much kind of wick action towards the 400, I don't think people are buying there at that 400. I think we're running into a bigger seller. We consistently see this. Look at the volume that comes in there. It's a huge spike in volume in the 1 minute, 637,000 shares. So I think there's a big seller that's selling out some position. We'll see what happens if we can actually blow through him and get up there.
On the 400, we obviously got short and we got 50 cents out of it.
Here comes 400 on SPY.
We'll see. There's a big seller there, man.
Yeah.
Do you see a wall on the level 2s? I haven't looked at on SPY level 2, but I'm just paying attention to my other stocks. But it seems like there's a big seller there. You see that jump of volume too, like 3-4 times. That tells you something, right?
Here we go. We're going to get another test right here.
And it's crazy that it goes to 400.00. Why does it go to 00, right? Like, why does it go so exact? That's because there's someone putting a limit order probably right up there. Every time we get up there, just selling some orders, selling some profits. When you're bigger in size, right? Like institutional size, you can't just put all your order out at once.
We got 50 cents on that short. So if you guys took that trade, hopefully you enjoyed the gains. Unfortunately for me, I'm looking to take profits at the 38 level or at 399.38, which I may not get. Maybe I was being a little too
They
greedy
get
on it.
pushed out there for CLF.
All three of my trades at the moment are in green territory, but unfortunately just not enough green. So SPY currently up about, what is that? 12 points, or excuse me, 12 cents. You've got NVIDIA that you're up about 20 cents, and you've got TCBP where you're up about 10 cents. So they're in the green, but the question is going to be, do they hit our profit targets or not?
Not liking this turnaround there in Cleveland Cliff. About to get out of that one. Just got hit there. I'm out on Cleveland Cliff. Really, really tiny loss there. It's about like 5 cents. But I did add to the position size. So it's still a kind of a decent sized loss. It's not a complete loss for me because it's such a small amount, right? It's only 6 cents. But we pushed it. We tried to get it. It went to 21.40s. Maybe we could have taken some profit at 41. But that would have just been the 1-to-1 trade. Was really looking for more that 2-to-1 trade above the 21.50s to take first profits. We'll see if that recovers there. SPY overall can't get through it right now. They're rejecting again there, team. Now reloading around the 9 EMA. Let's see if it can hold here. 399.50s on pullbacks and take out the 400. Moderna looking strong today. We'll look to see if that can continue strong. Of course, they put out news. Oil had a really nice little pop, but now starting to come back down. Be careful there. How's those tech names? NVIDIA's staying strong? It's kind of staying strong right now. It has 4 tops right there. Rejection of that 178 level.
OTRK breakdown here. Tanner mentioning in the chat here that the inventories came out. So the U.S. business inventories month over month for November, 0.4% versus the 0.4% estimate. So that is in line here. This is the dollar amount of inventories held by retailers. So nothing out of line there.
Once again, we come close to our profit target. We're away by about 10 cents. Makes me just want to take it, to be honest, but
yeah, it's how it is right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move my stop loss down because it's getting kind of annoying. I'm going to move my stop loss to about 411. So 400.11 is my stop loss. Still looking to get 399.38 if I can. I got to manage this better. That's on me. That's on me.
CYAD grinding a little bit higher here. Looks like it's trying to push. We'll see if we actually get that blast off here. Not in CYAD.
On the Qs, so you had resistance on the Qs at 284s. You popped above. If you'd like to get in, maybe wait for a retest. But otherwise, it looks like it's moving to the north side. SPY still trying to go ahead and get above 400.
I like that one. The north side.
North side.
Find that North Star, baby. Who's got that North Star? Looks like Cleveland Cliff recovering that 2120s. Could have stopped me out on that pullback. Didn't want it to go back to 2113. It's going to stay with the CF. CF at least working towards me almost to a point. Just want this last little spike to get me towards that point. Can take some profit. Let the rest of it run. We'll see what happens there.
The only good thing with the market going up is the fact that I'm also long NVIDIA at 177.32. Move my stop up to 176.90s. We're up about $40 on the trade, up about almost a point, approximately 80 cents on the trade itself. So let's see. One of these is going to work.
SPY again trying to flirt with this 400 level. We're 18 cents away here.
Come on, just go up there and tag it. Just tag it. It's 30 cents away. Now we're up a whole point on the NVIDIA trade. If you took it, hopefully you understood the reasoning and the process behind it. Lock in the gains. Do what's best for you.
Lumber. WFG kicking off there, man. We don't need no lumber inflation. ETU getting started today, team. That doesn't look too bad. Copper. The coppers are coming. The copper, SECO, doesn't look bad. It's trying to get back up there. Well, I'm looking at it today because I feel like the trend is starting to slow down. I'm wondering if it's going to pull back here towards 72 or continue the trend that it's been on. Just trying to push there. We'll see what happens there. SPY doesn't want to do it yet. We're going towards it. Look at the volume. Look how you hit that 399. You stopped like a freaking wall. There's such a wall there. There's such a wall there.
To answer your question, Mitch, it doesn't look all that crazy on the level 2. Might be some of those hidden orders, but you're absolutely right. The trading action shows that the wall is definitely there.
Yeah, we might blow through it.
Here we go.
When it took gains
400.
on
They're clearing it out. There it goes. 400 down and the pop through. So there you go, Mitch.
Well, still not cleared though, right? You blow through him, right? But you want to see this candle close above 400. If this candle's not closing above 400, that doesn't show me strength here.
What minute mark would you want to see that in? By the way, NVIDIA, when
normally I'd look at it like a 5 or a 10. More than a 5. A 1 minute is something if you're like just like the momentum. I have it on the 1 just to kind of show you guys. Really, I'm looking more like I'd be looking more at like this, like a 5 minute. Something a little bit deeper, maybe 15 if you wanted to go. But since we're only about 10 a.m., I'd be using more of the 5. After like 10:30 is where I kind of switch more to that 15-minute outlook. But you can see it on the 5.
What the hell? We'll just switch to the hourly.
Do you see how it rejects there? And now we're right back below it. That's not what you want to see as the bulls. The bulls want to see what we call claiming a price level, right? Claiming it means closing above that, not just peeking through. Peeking through is good. But you want to see what? Reloads now, right? So if you go on the 1 minute, you want this pullback, you want to see reloads come in. So a lot of bids coming in, bid action. And then all of a sudden the asks start jumping back towards 400 right now. Like right now, you would want to see that kind of scoop right back up through the 400. We'll see if we get it right around this 50 area.
And to your point, Mitch, that next move at 400 should not be as tough of a resistance as the first several times that we butted up against it, right? Now that we've actually cleared some of those sellers out, it makes sense that we should be able to move through that level and claim it just as you were saying there. Hugh, this is a 50-cent pullback off that level, right? We went right through it. Think like what, 14 cents, 10, 14 cents through it, and then pulled back down 50 cents beneath it. So we'll see where we end up going.
Because now if we reject below the 399.50s, I think we'll do a VWAP test. And if we do a VWAP test, we know what that means. That's just a pullback. Doesn't necessarily mean the trend is breaking, but we could go through that next pullback. So we'll see what happens here. Does it hold the 399.50s or do we get a push back towards that 400? It's always fun to watch this. And what you guys see me a little bit more excited about is that like it's almost interesting, right? How we get those rejections right at the 400 mark, That's something to always learn about so that you can kind of understand what's going on there. Another thing would be to have access to dark pools to see if there is maybe dark pool volume that's getting filled there at the 400, and that could be what's happening. But there you guys see now we're down to 399.40.
Going back to the VWAP.
Starting to reject the move, right? Not a quick ramp back through 400. So the buy the dippers were a little bit scared there. They came in, you saw it. You got the pop back towards 399.75, but they weren't able to just drive it through 400. Let's see if we get some more institutional action at the VWAP, because remember, a lot of the institutional algorithms run right off of the VWAP. And so that's why we use VWAPs as retail traders a lot of the time, because we're told that institutionals use those algorithms off the VWAP. Told, right? This can also be conflicting information there because we don't have real access to their trade floor, right? If we did, trust me, I would let you guys know. But we don't, right? And so we'll see what happens here. Do we get that next step up? Really, you want to start seeing candles close above, especially that 399.75. Remember I talked about it earlier, how it seemed like we got a lot of wicks there. You can see it on like the 3-minute. There's a lot of wicks above 399.75. We want to see those 5-minute candles really start closing above that 399.75 to show strength. All right, let's go. Let's take a look at sectors out there. Still had that CF trade, just holding the pullback right now. We'll see what happens on that. We'll see if we get the rebuild right back up there for the SPY. And really, this 5-minute candle hasn't closed, right? What do we got on it? It's 12. Still got about 2 minutes left here. It's about to be 10:13 there, and you'll get about 2 minutes left on this candle. We'll see what happens. What price is VWAP on SPY? For right now, I have 399.16. I don't know, but you have, maybe Zunaid can give me a little comparison.
I have 399.22 on my broker, so it's slightly different.
What do you have, Zunaid?
On the SPY, my VWAP is approximately 399.22 on the 5-minute candle.
Ooh, you see difference there, slight difference. And that's what happens when you have different brokerage, different data providers. And that's really what it is. It's more the data providers, not necessarily how it kind of works. It's more how often are you getting your data? That's going to be dependent. Which one's better? We'd have to look into the coding really to determine that. But you guys know. You coders out there would know.
Bed Bath & Beyond here pulling back towards 450. This is off the high that we had here at about 477. So it looks like Bed Bath & Beyond coming back into its VWAP. We'll see if it can actually bounce from here.
Yeah, and I mean, who's to know that, like, if you're thinking about VWAP for, like, let's say institutional action, who's to know if they have the same VWAP that you have, right? Another thing to think about, right? And so I think that we have to take always that information where we hear that institutionals trade like this with a little bit of grain of salt, right? So just putting that out there also. ACGN halted again, says Kindred Duke. HKD and AMTD going, says WIS. Just putting that out there. We'll see what happens. Gary Wilson has 399.25 for, I guess that's on light speed. Can't blame you for trading on light speed, Gary. It's a pretty good broker. We're fighting here. The Bulls are fighting. They're trying to defend it, trying to get that run. The Bears are trying to be like 400 at all cost.
VIX holding right at about 19. Last low we put in was 1801, and then we gapped up from there on the VIX.
Valero looking good here, team. That one just did a nice little move. Let's look for maybe oil to start getting a nice little upside action move. XOM putting a little bit of a candle. Oxy had pushed, never even pulled back. That shows me also continued strength there. Look at Chevron right near the VWAP. That's something that I like to look for, right? When I see in the industry make a move, I look for leadered laggards. A lot of the times I'm rolling through these, looking for charts that are lagging behind the action. Look how MRO is strong, right? That's different than what you're seeing in Chevron. You saw a pullback. It gives you opportunity to catch a stock that's on a pullback, and you're seeing pushes. HKD, look at that rip. It's ripping, team. 1310 halted. There you guys see it. AMTD, will that get the halt now? That's still lagging, and that's leader laggard style action, right? So you know that this has a relationship. So then all of a sudden, people see one halted, they just start throwing in offers right now. They're trying to jump into this AMTD. Of course, you guys make your own investment decision. That's a lot of times why you see like a quick little dip, because there's so many people trying to get in. It pulls back a little bit, starts filling even those orders, refills. We'll look for the push now towards $2. Let's see if we get that lift. I'm not jumping in this trade because it's too high risk. Like always, you guys determine what risk you want to be taking. What happened to Macy's? Let's see. Is it retail sales? Let's take a look. Ooh, that's continuing. That shows strength there. That's a nice little move there for retail. Nice little move up on Macy's. And if you're seeing Macy's move, of course, you can see KSS kind of continue. That's having a good day there. The monster that never goes away, Dillard's. It's an absolute monster. This is probably the best stock in the whole stock market. I have to say, in the whole stock market. Why? Because it never goes away. Look at this damn chart. We're in a bear market. This thing's going to go to new all-time highs soon. Oh my God. I don't understand this. I don't understand this, guys. There's sometimes where you don't understand something, you don't run in front of it. Because if you run in front of it, you can get destroyed. Imagine if I went with my thinking here, which is no one shops at Dillard's. Guess what happened? I would get destroyed. I'd get wrecked. All different things that you got to think about, right? I don't run in front of Dillard's, man. This stock just keeps going no matter what. I thought it was going to start breaking down when it did this like downturn. Like it went like really quickly down towards like 230s. No. Back towards 380s.
Tanner's saying, I remember Mitch talking about this months ago.
And that's because I talk about it. And sometimes I don't run in front of it. Maybe I should go the opposite of my trade, my thinking. But I try not to do that too often, because if you start going too much opposite of your thinking, then you're never going to be really decisive when you want to go with your thinking, right? You're kind of destroying your own mentality there. But it's interesting to see things like that. Big lots being called out in the chat. I'm trying to catch what you guys are talking about in the chat. I've just got my CF trade, so I'm just letting that go and just trying to let that work. BIG getting a nice little lift there to 1825s. I like the little move off VWAP. You got the little pop, little move to VWAP, a little slight cut. Now you're recovered. You went through that high. We'll look for it to definitely hold any pullbacks towards 18 or the VWAP around 1796. Doesn't look too bad there. Big lots getting a little bit of a push. Discount stores, let's go take a look. Costco not doing too bad there. That one actually looks a little bit more like a short today. Walmart also kind of in a bearish mood. We'll look to see if these kind of turn around. DG, Dollar General, Dollar Tree. Yeah, these don't actually look that strong. Looks like there's the cheaper ones that are making moves. Let's see, Ollie, maybe? Yeah, Ollie, the cheaper ones. The cheaper ones there, Ollie and BIG getting a little lift.
Stopped out sorry, not stopped out. In terms of what is going to the downside, it's going to be the SPY. As you can see, you got
SPY. That was a trap. That looks like a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
Got a whole point move to the downside. We're testing the lows of the day now. The stock that I did get stopped out on was TCBP. As you can see, I bought it here, got stopped out on this candle here. On NVIDIA, we went ahead and made profits. Let me go to the 1 minute so you can see how well of a dog I am. Bought it here, sold it on the top wick of the day, and then to the downside we went. On SPY, that trade, I tried to be a little too cute and put my stop loss a little too tight, and unfortunately it bit me because my original profit targets went ahead and did hit, as 400 did end up rejecting. That's a recap on the trade so far.
My finger. Charlie bit my finger.
What is that from?
You don't know that one? Come on, man. I'm such an oldie. I'm a boomer.
I believe I'm older than you, but okay.
I know, that's the fun part. Shh. I'm not old. All right, I'm looking at SQQQs for day trade action here. I'm looking to see if the volume's filling in on this pullback. I'm not seeing that much volume fill in on the pullback, so I haven't just jumped in immediately, but let's see if we can get to VWAP and we start seeing more volume starting to fill. I might take my shot there in the SQQQs to the upside. really that's all just like trying to play the breakdown, right? I think it's a little bit early to play that. So maybe I'm just running to the gun. We'll see if the SPY recovers. Like always, you could get a recovery here, right back up.
Dan, great to see you here this morning. Welcome. Dan saying there we go. TCBP is right on the trend line now. Make it or break it zone. 640 is the line not to lose. So looking at TCBP, great stuff here, Dan. It looks like we came back to this 640. We really kind of found a bottom there. So you're looking for a curl back up first. First marker here is going to be 689. Break through that, VWAP next, and then maybe towards the highs. But you're right, 640. I think if this loses 640, look out below, right? 640, 560 probably coming. 560 probably coming.
All right. Calling out one that looks interesting for also like a kind of scalp outlook is aluminum. AA, if AA continues, CENX is an option for you guys in aluminum to look for some kind of sympathy style play. This looks good for me for a little bit kind of scalp action towards the 1150s. Maybe you get a little bit of a pullback here. Maybe you could go off the VWAP, but Alcoa is what you want to see kind of take off. This is also another opportunity here, as you see in this pullback today. Of course, this one has earnings after the bell, so it could just be people kind of playing it off of that sympathy. Look how you're getting that little up move there. Just try to put some calls on your radar, right? This is not necessarily something I'm in right now, but I'm going to definitely put it on your radar for you. SPY overall, getting that little bounce back above the VWAP. We'll see what happens, right? Will we take out the 400? Still playing around with traders at least that are kind of focused on that SPY. Pullbacks, push right back up.
Amazon with a nice little pop. Where's Amazon? There's Amazon. Nice little pop on Amazon. Touched VWAP, held to the upside.
Looks like TCBP here lost that 640 breakdown right through that. 630 now. We'll see where this goes here, but TCBP breaking down here.
Supposedly the Charlie kid made a bunch of money, bought a yacht. I love it. Charlie bit my finger. Chevron making a nice little move off that VWAP bounce. We just talked about that. We'll look to see if oil can continue higher. Oxy continuing to push right now. We'll look for MRO to continue to push. XOM, we saw that one right around a little bit slightly above VWAP. It was around 113.75. It's looked like it's pushing to 114 right now. Gush continuing the nice little lift. We'll see what happens on those plays. Halliburton's one that I'm looking at for the pullback right now. Doesn't look too bad. It's held up here, has gone kind of sideways on the trend. We'll look to see if it takes that next step up. SPY overall, just hanging out right now around the VWAP. Let's go to the 5-minute. Just keep that in mind so that we can keep watching kind of some of this volatility move around. SPY has been a decent day on certain stocks. We'll see what happens. Let's go to SPY and see what is having a good day here. JB Hunt giving a good day there. MRO having a hell of a day. Oxy having a good day there. Bath and Body Works. Not Bed Bath & Beyond, but getting a nice little lift there. The candle game. Who's got their candle game right? Got your candle game right, Zunaid?
Bro, so my candle game, I have...
you see, I hit that soft spot. You got to have that candle game.
So I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I tried it out. A friend gifted it to me, so I wasn't going to be a jerk about it. But this is what she gave me. But I got some... There was a candle day.
Is that what it said?
A night on Ponce. It's a city. It's a street city area in Atlanta. But no, I bought 20 candles on Candle Day. That what's it called? Not Bed Bath & Beyond. Bath and Body Works had.
Yes.
So I need to light those up later this weekend. But yes, my candle game is on point.
Mine is 2. I got a 7 wicker. I got a 7 wicker from Costco. Dude, it's awesome. It's like sea salt. It's an amazing scent. I also got like a 5-wick vanilla monk fruit candle from Costco. My place always be smelling good.
I didn't even know there was a 7 wicker. That's insane. That's awesome.
Love it. Love it. I knew I'd hit a little soft spot there with the candle game mentioned. Got to have your candle game up, team.
Who doesn't like candles? Honest question.
That's the hard one there. What pattern is this, team? What do you guys see there? Let's see who got the pattern game on point today. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of minutes. Let's see who gets it first. I'll go ahead and you guys can reach out to me, Mitch at benzinga.com. I know that some people have been wanting those Benzinga hoodies. Let's give out one of those hoodies today. Hit the like button, team. You guys appreciate giving a little giveaway. Who's gonna get it right? Who's got the pattern? I'm looking in the chat. You guys let me know if you guys see anybody get it first, but might have to look on YouTube. Sometimes it lags a little bit. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, looks like we got some people coming in here. We got some. Is it 3-bar play? No. Head and Shoulders? No. Scented Candles and Onion Water? Maybe. Double top? Double top? No. Quantum with the win. Cup and handle. Bing, ding, 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 ding. We got ourselves a winner. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. Someone's getting the chicken dinner today. And just for notable mentions, I saw you guys roll in before I mentioned it. B, Pam, Shannon, Daniel. The cup. It's right behind me. I should have said, the cup. We'll see if we get that nice extension above now. A lot of times what you're looking for is this little pullback move, right? So this is giving us our handle look, right? You get a big pop. You're looking for that nice little retracement. Usually you don't want it to retrace the whole pop because if it retraces the whole pop, that kind of negates that little pop, right? So it even could have gone back to the VWAP and then taken off. So it's okay to get that type of pullback. But then now you're looking for that extension back through this high, which is that 70 outlook, right? You're looking really to get back towards the real kind of U pattern here, which would be recovering towards that 80. That'd be the breakout. We'll see what happens there on the cup and handle for SGTX. Shout out to you, Crow.
Zunaid looks terrified, which means that we succeeded.
Well, because here's why I was terrified. Because usually when random shit like that happens, it's my fault and it's because I did something. So I was like, I didn't touch shit. I didn't touch anything. I don't know what that was.
It wasn't me. Hands went up. I saw that.
Yeah, I was like,
Zunaid knows. Hands up.
I was like, hey, man.
It's all right, Zunaid. You're in the clear this time.
All right. I will let you guys know I'm getting out of CF there. Stop triggered there on the VWAP. Slightly into the green. Just wanted to kind of state that, but we're talking pennies. And so not even getting the CF move today. Maybe could have taken bigger size to get that move to 87.25. But the problem with this one is the spread's about 20 cents. So I try to, whenever I see a big spread, I try to go smaller size, looking for the bigger move, willing to stop out, break even. That's what I'm cutting down here today. Break even on both kind of trades. I lost about 6 cents on the other one. So a little bit of a loss there. CF, break even. We'll just keep battling today. It seems like it's that type of day. It's a little bit choppy. Now the SPY trying to come back. It's a chop land out there. Gary said, damn, I'm like 30 seconds behind on live. It happens. It happens. No worries. TDW, cup and handle. Not bad. With the little pop right here, right? If you're looking at it, let me see all in the one. Might be a little cleaner. Yeah, a little cleaner there on the one. This one looks more like a kind of just continuation. Nice little trend line you could draw from maybe from the bottom side. So as long as it holds that trend, you're looking good right now.
AMZN, Amazon break at 99. So now we will try to go ahead and get a little sell side. Let's see, 99.97. Go short about 200 shares.
Tesla with the pullback today. It's about 50% of yesterday's move. If you're bullish on Tesla, it's starting to look interesting down here towards 132 area. We'll see what happens today, but not getting into Tesla, I'll tell you that.
Tesla retraced its entire pre-market move here today. Nice job, ADW, saying great day with Amazon and taking the rest of my profit. Ain't nothing wrong with taking profits, my man. I like that today. Golf clap.
Well done. Well done. Well done.
Golf clap.
I'm fancy. I'm fancy. I mean, I dress like it, but I am not. Not really.
You
Not
gotta
at all.
do the fancy wave.
Thank you for stopping by today's show. Please be sure to
Hi, Leon.
very, very quietly caress the like button.
Hi, Leon, making a move today. The wish is starting, team. If you wished upon a dream for about 3 years, you might get to $1. The wish is starting. We'll see what happens. Can I get to $1? Man, this stock needs to just go away, right? Remember when this
I've
thing
never
opened
ordered
up?
anything from Wish.
I ordered one thing, like some lights. Like it took me like a month and a half to receive it from
That's
China.
wild. That's wild.
But hey, that's how it is, man.
At least you got it, I guess.
Yeah, at least it came here. I honestly did it as more as like a test.
A tester.
Like, you know, like, yeah, I was like, let's just see what the hell happens. Let's see if it does arrive or not. But it arrived.
All right. So if we're going to be discussing Wish purchases, let's do it.
Oh, you
So
got
here
one?
I'll show you my only one. Let's go full screen.
There you go.
Okay. I'll show you my only one. It is a keychain lighter. Okay.
Ooh, I like
But
it.
it is the style of lighter that was made famous by old movies, right? It's like this stick
Yes.
with this. So you would do
Oh.
Magnesium.
Yep. Now this one is not full because I don't use it, but you can see you're getting a little bit of a spark there.
There
So-
we go.
Now
the
I will say, so there's no
magnesium.
fluid in here. I would have to fill this up, which I could
Right.
do. Now I will say that much like Mitch, this took nearly a month to show
Wow.
up. Look at this thing. This thing fits inside of an envelope. Took nearly a month to show up. Doesn't hold a
It
lot
looks
of
very
fluid.
fancy.
It's not though, and you
Oh.
can see they actually. That's the thing. Like I appreciate that, Zunaid.
Yeah.
It's not though. Like you can. I don't know if I wish this camera would focus on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it say?
It says honest, but it's anything but honest. And this little gold coloring on it is all wearing off because it's not gold.
Good, it's not gold. That makes
So
sense. That's hilarious.
just,
bro.
you know, I knew what I was getting into buying it.
Yeah.
It was just really, really cool. And I have an actual, which gets modeled off of what's called a Ronson touch tip lighter from like the 30s.
Ronson.
I have a collectible Art Deco Ronson tabletop lighter used by
dope.
Humphrey Bogart in a number of different movies. So when I saw this, I was like,
Dope.
well, that's cool. I'll try it. But it's just, it's gimmicky at best.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Dope. The Wish, man. What about the Wayfair? I know there's some Wayfair fans out there.
Has anyone ordered from Wayfair?
Yeah, I've ordered a couple of things, like just
Uh-uh.
like tables and stuff like that.
I have not.
But I have the dangerous IKEA next to me. IKEA. I run from IKEA. The store scares me. Department stores continuing the nice little push on the day. JWN, nice little push on the day. KSS, Macy's, whoever brought that up earlier, thank you for mentioning it. And of course, the Dillard's Dragon. I ain't touching it. Home improvement stores continuing a nice little push as of late. You can see that in Lowe's. Lowe's and Home Depot look like a nice little setups as they're starting to push on the day through a couple of prior days highs. We'll look to see if we get through that kind of 332.50 area there for Home Depot. It is pulling back right now. Look for that nice little kind of hold here on this pullback. We'll look to see if it recovers 333 on the day. Not a bad one, right? Not a bad looking chart there, team. What do you guys think about that one? That's not bad. She pretty. She pretty. We'll see what happens. All right. Another area that's doing well. Energy continuing, of course. We've talked about oil stocks having a decent day there. Chevron, we talked about this VWAP bounce when it was lagging behind, right? Leader laggard stay. Look at that. Nice little move there, right? And that's what I look for a lot of the times. So look for your leaders to kind of continue showing you that strength. We saw Oxy, MRO pushing strong. XOM making a nice little up move. Gush was pushing a little bit. So I was looking for Chevron to play a little bit of catch up. Not a bad move there. Basic materials, let's go back into that area. That's not doing too bad. That's the second leading sector here. Aluminum, we talked about CENX. Would that one get the lift there? It's starting to pull back a little bit. We'll look to see if it makes that extension up towards 1150. AA did push up after that VWAP, but now pulling back. We'll look to see if that can continue on the day. Copper, FCX, SCCO continuing the drive as of right now. We'll look how those continue. SPY overall now starting to come down. It failed to come back through 399.50. I think that's very important. I'm going to actually start looking for us to hold VWAP as resistance here on any pushes back. We'll look to see if we start getting the breakdown in certain stocks. So look for Apple to start showing some weakness. That's what I would look for. Tesla to continue maybe breaking through the lows. That would show me a little bit of a weak signal there. And Amazon has been really strong as of late. We need this one to kind of turn back around. I don't want to see this get through 100. If that one does get through 100, it might hold this up here. Amazon definitely strong on the day. What about Microsoft? Was strong yesterday, having a weak day today, starting to break through new lows. So for sector watch, I use TC2000. So I have different charting services. Of course, I use different kind of brokerages. And then, of course, you guys will always see me whenever I'm kind of getting my news and looking for economic data to come in. I'm just always having my Benzinga Pro on the right-hand side here. So like always, team, you got to have tools and you got to pay for your tools, right? That's the important thing. I think a lot of people try to use free tools. I use paid tools, even my paid charting. Some people don't use paid charting. I think it's worth it to me, so I pay for it. That's why you guys see me use different tools here. And you guys can use definitely Benzinga Pro if you just wanted to use that. Look at the day trading side here, calendar, have everything I need right here, right? Intraday action, pre-market, I go through here. I start looking at what's moving also. After I've already looked at some of the major news, right? I'll start going to here to see if there's anything that's having a big gap. Intraday action, intraday scanner here on my 30 minutes. You can see Easy Go, having a good moment right now. Let's go towards that stock. Let's take a look at it. As of late, it's had a nice little move there. It's starting to get a nice little pop off of that $1. Of course, this is kind of that charging little recreational play, getting a little bit of a lift. We'll look to see if that can keep squeezing. It's a cheaper style play there, getting a move. And a lot of that, just using some scanners to kind of catch it, right? It definitely can help us catch some late movers and some big moves. D Pro showing up. Don't know what this one is, but hey, that's how you find a stock that's making a move. Look at this Dragonfly. Don't know this one. It's an aerospace and defense. D Pro making a decent move on the day. Look at that daily chart.
I was going to say, nice move through 120 there on the daily.
Yeah. So that's how you find it, right? Can you write that program is? It's just TC2000, just literally TC2000.
PCB says, I heard Tim Allen bought Home Depot shares. Man, he's loaded up with Binford. I don't know if he's buying Home Depot. That's funny.
Tim Allen, I like that one.
I grew up on home improvement. Market totally rolling over here, by the way.
I think I might actually start that one over, watch it again. I've been liking just going back to the old ones. I'm such an old show watcher.
You know which one I liked? I think it was like a fishing one with a dude who has a...
There's the SPY. There's starting to get rejection there. I'm going to start looking for success here. All right, taking a little bit there in the 27, 25s. You guys are seeing me do it. It's literally as I would do it, right? So you guys literally just saw me take a little bit there. Was thinking, do we get the pullback to the VWAP? If I do get the pullback, I'm adding. But if it just wants to take off, I just want to get in right now before it wicks through this 2740s. You could also look at maybe SQQQs, right? Maybe that's the move, but that one's pushing a little bit stronger right now. So we'll see what happens there, right? Another thing to look at would be maybe looking at energy to continue. That's looking strong there. But I want to see if the SPY really starts breaking down. Apple is what we want to also see start getting into the red. That's starting to show a little weakness. You can look for NVIDIA to start cracking through the lows. That's looking like it's starting to pull back. AMD, similar things, right? We'll see what happens there. TSM has been strong as of late, starting to pull back, not catching the bounce. Look for that to kind of flush down. Amazon was strong. Does this start getting back into the red? That's what we want to see. We'll see what happens there. All right, back to success. Let's see if I can get some ads towards VWAP.
By the way, those semis, what is going on here? Hang on a sec. Something's wrong with my
You're good.
machine.
All right. You're good. Well, you figure that out. I'm gonna look to take a bounce play on Tesla at 130.06 if I can. I'm looking to buy 100 shares. Stop loss. We'll give it about 60. Let's give it to about 129.40. And I'm gonna look to take gains at about 130.80 or so. Actually, I get a one-to-one trade. Why not? Done. All right, orders are in. Let's see what happens.
My orders to add are in for success. That's 27.12s and 27.08s on pullbacks to the VWAP. If not, let it go. Let it go. Someone said they're going long SPY below 398, short above 400. Hey, doesn't Ellie keep it simple, right? I hear you.
So, Mitch, you were talking about different chart formations earlier. Here's something that you kind of just reminded me of. We talked about this quite a bit on Happy Hour over several weeks, and it was really coming to fruition. Looked really good yesterday. And bring up my chart here.
Let's do it.
So, what formation is jumping out at you on this chart here? Take answers from the chat.
Answers from the chat.
I'll take answers from you guys too. I'm not going to discriminate against you guys, but just asking people what chart formation do you see here? This is the SMH, the VanEck Semiconductor ETF.
Let me see. I need to put this big.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on my. I'll be honest, I don't necessarily see one, but I'm not going to pretend like I'm the best chart pattern individual.
Totally fine. So let me walk you through what I'm seeing here and how Quantum, you a winner yet again. Quantum inverse head and shoulders, right? So you got a shoulder here, head here, shoulder here. Next move should be up, right? And here's the craziest part. Let's look at some of the components of the SMH, like some of the other semiconductor stocks. We'll start with TSM, which Mitch just mentioned. What do you see here? Same thing, right?
Thing. Yeah.
How about that? Let's look at another semiconductor stock. How about NVIDIA? That's
thing.
really strange. We're seeing almost the same thing here. How about AMAT? We'll take one more here. What
industries?
Dude? What's going on? So
industries trade together, Ryan?
Yeah, I was exactly, Mitch. I appreciate that. I'm trying to come up with something here. There's been a lot of talk about this, and this is something that happened from the SMH was the one that was first brought up by someone on Happy Hour, and we kind of did a dive into some of the different semiconductor companies and realized that they had very, very similar charts. Same formation is appearing here. So we'll see if this neckline ends up breaking here, and if we do have an up move in any of these semis.
All right, team. How we doing out there? It looks like we're starting to get that breakdown here now, starting to get after it a little bit more and more. It's success now to 27.46. Loving that. And I can just say it, it's time. It's time, team. Let's go after it. I'm getting after it. It's time for me to bring it. The dark side is here.
All right. On that note, I'm gonna head out. My Tesla trade.
Today's like the soundboard's flying. I'm out of here, guys. See you later. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see y'all tomorrow on the Tesla trade. Just full transparency, I did go and get stopped out as it did literally wick to my stop and then kind of bounce right back up. But that 130, the reason I took it, the reason I'm okay taking an L is because that 130 level was resistance, held on as support. I had hopium that it would go ahead and hold on as support again. Not as clean as a trade I would have liked. Nonetheless, the next area that I'm looking for a trade might be my SPY at about 397.06. But nonetheless, take an L on the day, and we'll regroup for tomorrow. You guys take care. See ya.
Take care of yourself, Zunaid.
Bye.
All right, going to look to continue adding to success. Want that to kind of continue working. We saw NVIDIA make that break. Really just want to see the market continue leaking through the rest of the day. And then this could be a bigger trade for us. We'll see what happens. Just going to let it work. Let it work. We'll see if it can continue working on the day.
Nice shout here by Crow, giving us something that we really haven't talked about a whole lot yet. Pro saying serious chart on Summit. We take a look at the Summit chart. This is actually pretty nice, right? It looks like we've kind of bounced off of this 439. Looks like it's curling back up to try and take out this 5 level. So Summit looking pretty good. If we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see we actually popped into this range. We're consolidated amongst this range, but perhaps another breakout another breakthrough 5 here. And if we do, that might send us close to 6 here. So pretty decent chart here, Crow. Great spot. Keep bringing us the awesome trading opportunities we'll see here on Summit. I actually like this on a breakthrough 490 on a 5 test.
I like it. The big thing, though, you want to wait and see is the volume pickup at 5, right?
Absolutely.
If there's no volume pickup, then you'll probably come right back down, crash. And big reason is that slow down the volume with a price hanging out at the top of the range is good, because that means that there's no big selling coming in, right? High volume at that sideways action on the top of the range would tell me a little bit more like selling actions coming in, right? But if you could get now lower volume, and then on the 5 break, get a nice little spike back towards, let's say, 10 million shares traded. Yeah, that'd be looking good there for us on SMMT. We'll see if we get that nice little push. Of course, you can see how the volume's been declining. You need to change that trend as you break through. And that doesn't necessarily have to happen. It's more a continuation, like you're looking for that continuation push, right? If you do get a lot of volume to trade at that spot, well, then you can push back here and you're thinking you can take out these 578s and maybe make that 6 run. We'll see what happens there.
Jay saying punishing chasers today after 7 days of up on the Qs. That's exactly what we're getting. Mitch, can you flip to the Qs there on your chart?
Yeah. The Qs.
So if you take a look here, today we pushed up to about that 284 and change, and then immediately rejected. We're all the way down here at 281 and change. And Mitch, if you could flip to the daily chart there for a sec.
Yeah.
You can very clearly see, as Jay is saying, zoom in on this recent run up here. So if you're chasing, this is one of the reasons why we say don't chase. And one of the reasons we say moves are extended and be careful and have a stop and all of that stuff. Jay's exactly right here. People that were chasing this move up, people that were late to the party, they're being punished here today.
They're being punished. I mean, that's kind of normal. It's kind of going to happen, especially when you're seeing these continued up moves. Eventually, the turnaround happens. And I think that you just have to be flexible, right? And I think we saw how many rejections of 400, right? And then we got right back to it and rejected again. Even though we popped through there, they knocked it back down. So just because we got through that 400 doesn't mean that seller couldn't have had orders out at 400, 410 cents, 420 cents, 450 cents. And he could have leveled them up there, right? As we broke through those levels, what happened? Hit more selling shares, swoop, right back down. Take those profits and run. Sometimes they'll do that to us, team. It seems to me like that was a take the profit and run move. What will tell us that is if we actually close, let's say, back below Friday's low, 393. We're still ways away from there, and we could always find a bounce. But like always, if we cut back through that low, that'll show me more and more that we got the flush back to the downside. Of course, we could bounce. We've gone through kind of those pre-market levels. I'm looking to see if we're going to go back towards APM numbers from Tuesday night. That would get us closer towards 396 and a low there on the action of 396.44.
So some questions here about Party, Mitch. Party being delisted. Looks like it's filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. News from today. Stock is halted.
Party! We're going to the party.
It doesn't seem like a good party.
Why not? Let's
well,
go.
because they're being delisted and filing bankruptcy.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.
I am the party.
I love this move. That's my favorite. Every time it gets me. Right, Mitch, I think that's going to be it here for today. Everything really has seemed to have slowed down. Market totally rolling over at SPY, Qs, Dow, all looking lower here.
Apple, Amazon, what we kind of talked about, right?
I think you might see a VIX push. I think we're currently at 1922. I think you probably break out here on the VIX, at least for intraday. I'd look for 1930 or even a little bit higher now. So we'll see if this continues here, but we'll be right back tomorrow to assess it, and we'll have more context as we have all of the different data here today. So good job here today, Mitch. We will see you tomorrow.
All right, guys. Don't say that it was me that shot the sheriff. I didn't shoot the spy. But I didn't shoot the spy. At least I was warning here. That's not looking pretty. Success looking pretty for me, team. Now up there to 27.52. Still have my ad orders down here. Going to cancel them for now because we're nowhere near them. So we'll just let those kind of continue to work there for us. If we do pull back to VWAP, I'll look to be adding there. What am I doing? I'm going essentially short semiconductors, right? I could also look for shorting semiconductors. We'll look to see if that continues breaking down. AMD, NVIDIA, some of those names. TSM starting to turn around. We'll look to see if that kind of shows a little bit of strength right now. Microsoft, what's up with that? Downside action showing in there. Amazon coming right back down. Google, downside action. So it looks like you're starting to get that sell. Of course, with this kind of dash, will we get the knockdown on the dash for trash trade, right? Affirm starting to come back down. Carvana starting to come back down quickly. A lot of these dash for trash trades starting to come back down. I would go after Lucid, but I can't even get short the name right now. I'd have to borrow shares, and I try my best not to do too many borrows. Lucid down there right now towards 8. I think that one's a nice one. Definitely seeing the turnaround. Even the cruise lines. Are the airlines turning around? Yes, airlines turning around also. I don't think this is completely broken, but it's definitely pulling around. Let's see if the trade goes back to value, or does it even flush continued on those names. Caterpillar trying to find a little bit of a bounce. Look for Deere to maybe see if it can bounce back. Pakar coming back down right now. Looking around to see what's hanging in here. Gold, let's see how gold is doing. Gold is starting to come back. This one I actually like. I saw the dollar down today. I was wondering why gold was down, but it looks like we're starting to get a little bit of a reversal in gold action. We'll see if that can find a little bit of a bounce. BTU looked better earlier, now starting to pull back. Copper game, SCCO. How's that doing? Now starting to turn around there. Be careful out there, team. Let's go to the Qs. Qs still down there towards 280s now. We'll look to see if that can continue breaking down. And, of course, you guys can also start looking for relative weakness, right? What is really weak? PDD really weak. Tesla's really weak. KHC, value trade, falling off. Look at the Kraft Heinz. Big hit there. Datadog turning around there. CrowdStrike. So that little bounce that we got in Pan W, very short-lived, already starting to get hit there. So just be careful on that one. We'll take a look at what else is getting hit there in the Qs. Let's keep going through that. Intel getting hit. Honeywell. So it looks like that trade falling off the wagon, the GE trade. This actually looks for a nice little short opportunity for me. Don't mind this one on a short, actually. I actually like this here. I'm going to go for a swing trade short on this. Let's go ahead and take a little bit position here. I'm going to go swing short on this. If I can get a fill, I'll let you guys know. I just put it on there. It's already broken through my level. I need a little bit of a bounce back. It's coming down fast. I need a little bit of a bounce back. I don't want to jump into it too fast there. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a pullback there. Was trying to get short GE. Put the order out. No fill yet. It's already coming down there. We'll look to see if I get a fill. I put it out there. Honeywell dropping fast there. Looks like diversified industrial is starting to drop a little bit. We can take a look at that by XLI, taking a hard hit to the downside. So even Deere, Cat looking like it might reverse to the downside. Pakar actually looking more like a short now. We'll see what happens on the industrial names, right? Honeywell already giving us that sign that GE can come down. I wanted to get in there. We'll see what happens. All right, what about healthcare? Healthcare pulling back fast there too. The major ones pulling back fast, right? You see Johnson & Johnson down today. A lot of these Pfizer down today fast. AbbVie down. Merck. Looks like this health trade is pulling back a significant amount and continuing to pull back right now. Defensives also taking a hit today. Look at those. That's really getting a beating. What's getting hit hard there? It looks like confectioners taking a hit and packaged food. So even some of these bigger names, these packaged foods taking a big hit today. Beyond Meat taking a big hit there. I don't know about Beyond Meat. I think it might eventually disappear, but that's just my outlook here. Taking a look at what else is kind of big market cap here, trying to run through this for us because I do see stocks moving today. Normally, we don't have this much movement towards the late part of the day. Success, nice little step back up there for me through the 2767s. We're looking to have a nice day now. We're deeper into the green. We're going to look to take some profits as we get to 28. If we can continue doing that, looks like the Q's continuing down, another leg down towards 396 now. It's been a hard hit there. All right, how are the banks? Let's take a look there. Banks probably getting hit here. Let's go to JPM. Pull back on the banks there. Bank of America also pulling back. Rejection of the VWAP bounce there. That shows me a lot too. We'll look to see a strong name like Morgan Stanley. This was really strong, right? Tried to continue on the day, now pulling back. We'll look to see if it breaks down. Goldman Sachs was really weak yesterday. Let's see if it continued the weakness. It got a little bit of a bounce back today. Will this start breaking down or actually coming back? We'll see what happens there on Goldman Sachs. Of course, you guys can also look at maybe like a Citigroup. Citigroup pulling back right now, and you got to be careful there if they break down the trend. Success there continuing, looking good there for me. I'm just going to continue to watch that as the trade continues to work. Let's take a look there at NVIDIA. Will this break through another low here? We'll see if it takes another leg. All right. I keep getting ads to date. Crow, come on, man. They're trying to come after you, man. It's because the wealth is building. Now the panic kicks in for the market for all the guys from the last few days chasing. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we start getting those real knockdowns, especially on those like kind of dash for trash trades. ARKK starting to come down. Do we go Sarkin team? Should we go Sarkin it? Are we going to Sark it? Ooh, this actually looks interesting to me. Ooh, big pullback on the monthly levels here for Sark. Sark. Actually doesn't look too bad off of around the 44, 45 level. Not a bad little up move too on the 15-minute. We'll look for a big pullback there in Sark to see if I can get in. I wouldn't mind the swing trade on Sark. We'll see what happens. BE, can we get a little bit of a bounce back? I'm actually going to cancel my order now because on the bounce back, we could bounce back all the way to the VWAP. So look for it to bounce back, and I'll look to see if I can nail it short side. Of course, I would have to hold off the daily highs here. Daily high would be around 81.18, so it wouldn't be that bad. About a point. Just got to keep that in mind. I'd look for a move probably back towards the 9 EMA, 76.55. Wouldn't be too bad. We're talking about a little bit closer towards 4 points. 3-1, 4 for 1. Those are the trades that I like. We'll see what happens there. Great bullish news in the market dups. Love it. Like we haven't had 2 years of pain. Yeah, that's how it is, Kyle James. I think a lot of the times you got to remember that the market, a lot of the times, if people start leaning too heavily on one side, the market likes to hurt where it can hurt the most. And sometimes, even if you got bullish news, it doesn't matter. The SPY can always turn on you. We'll see what happens if this continues to leak out, but definitely a fast leak there. Little bounce there in GE. Didn't even get the fill there. We'll look what happens, see if I can get a bounce or not. It just looks like it's just continuing to leak there. NVIDIA, when we get new lows, you got a little bit of bottoming action there. Can we start recovering a little bit? We'll look to see if we get that. SPY bouncing a little bit. Q's bouncing a little bit. We'll see if we actually do get a little bit of a bounce back there. All right, that's probably going to do it for me, team. It's about 11 a.m. Tried to stay as much as I could for you guys. Like always, smash the like button if you guys enjoyed live trading here. We're going to keep pushing through. And like always, you guys can keep building on your skills with our book club. Don't miss it, team. We're going to be starting that up this Sunday. We'll do an introduction. The real key is we're going to give you about a week or about 2 weeks, really, to go ahead and get the book. So join the book club. If you haven't had the form filled out, please go ahead and do so. I'm going to throw it up one more time. Going to wrap up the day, team. We'll see what happens in the market overall. SPY making its move to 400 today, rejecting that move. If you guys want to find out a little bit more about the markets, you guys can always keep up with me. I'll be back at 1 p.m. Eastern with Stock Market Movers, and I'll be having an expert, Thomas Hayes, Chairman and Managing Director, of course, at Great Hill Capital. Don't miss a team. That's going to be at 1:15 p.m. Eastern later today. Find out from the experts what they see in this recent downside move and where the opportunities present themselves at 1:15 later today. I'll see you guys like always. Hit the like button. I hope you guys enjoyed all the action in the market. And remember, we're a fight club here. We got to keep battling.
Come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
And this is how I met.
Tyler Durden.
But every Saturday night, we were finding something out.
Welcome to Fight Club.
Benzinga Fight Club. You guys know where you guys are at. Hit the like. Hope you guys enjoyed the action, and I'll see you guys a little bit later. No Benzinga live today. Just want to give you guys the information there. It looks like AB will be down today, so we'll see what happens if he's able to come back tomorrow. He's going to be, sometimes going in and out. Keep up with AB like always. You guys can always add him also on Twitter. See you guys a little bit later at 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's keep going, team. Hit the like button. Smash it up.
Check